Hello, everyone. It is Friday, end of the week. Finally, today's the 17th. This is Q&A with Dr. D. I hope everyone is doing well. Facebook, how are we doing today? IG, how are we doing today? I am just posting some stuff here for you guys. Bear with me one second. How's everyone doing today? Shoot me a message. Let me know how it's going. Hope everyone is doing well. Okay, guys, so we're going to get started. Hoping some people can join me here. Hey, how are you? All right, so today's topic, guys, we're talking about knees. How do I strengthen my knees? I got this message from someone on Instagram who was interested in figuring out how she wanted to strengthen her knees. So there are several ways in which you can strengthen your knees. And when we talk about strengthening the knees, we're not talking about the actual knee joint, but we're talking about the muscles above and below that joint. Okay. Specifically, the muscles that are going to be most useful in terms of strengthening knee when we talk about knee strength is going to be the muscles that are above the knee joint. And we have four different groups that we need to talk about. On the front of your thigh is your big quadriceps muscle. Okay, it's made up of four components, which is why it's the name of it is quadriceps, quad four. All right. Medial, lateral, vastus medialis, vastus lateralis. We have the muscles also on the top and the bottom that are really responsible for, and from a mechanical standpoint, those four muscle groups really pull and put a lot of force, and they are responsible for straightening your knee. Then we have the muscles on the inside of your thigh, which is called the adductor group. It's a very big group made up of a couple of muscles. Those muscles are responsible for bringing your knee into your midline or across your body. Then we have a smaller group of muscles called the AB or abductors, and they sit right on the top of your hip, and they're responsible for pulling your leg away from your midline. And then we have your hamstring muscles, a group of three different muscles that are responsible for bending your knee or bringing your heel back to your butt. Okay, so in terms of strengthening those muscles, we usually focus a lot more on strengthening the quadriceps, which is a muscle on the front of the thigh, and to a lesser extent, the muscles on the back of the thigh. Okay, you will find that if you are having knee pain, not only do you need to strengthen the muscles on the front and the back of the thigh, but you also need to strengthen some of the muscles on the hip, which is the abductor muscles that I just mentioned earlier, and also some of the muscles on the rotational component, the piriformis and the external rotators of the hip, that is responsible for working on the medial lateral alignment of the knee. That is very important with a lot of knee issues and a lot of knee pain and a lot of knee symptoms. Does need that stability from higher up in your hip in order to make sure that you have the stability that you're looking for. With strengthening, what are the best strengthening exercises for your knee? So the most effective, or the most, I would say, difficult exercises that you need to do for your knee is something called eccentric exercises. And this is a type of muscular contraction that we're talking about. There's several different types of muscular contractions. There's something called an isometric contraction, where you're just holding a position in one place with some tension on that muscle. If I'm using my biceps as an example, you have what we call a concentric contraction, which is where you're shortening the muscle. So as I bring my arm closer towards my shoulder, I'm shortening my bicep muscles and pulling that joint into that flex position. And then you also have what we call an eccentric contraction, which is where there's still tension in that muscle, but I'm slowly lengthening out. If I had a bag, very heavy bag that I was trying to nice and slowly lower down to the floor, as I'm creating tension in that muscle, but also lengthening away, you will feel that there's an eccentric contraction. Eccentric contractions are the hardest sort of contractions that a muscle can do. Okay. And in order to train those, you want to be very specific in the way that you train those, because that's going to give you a lot of the strength and the stability that you need in your knees. So lots of good exercises that you can do. One of my favorite ones are squats. Okay. So you can do a lot of air squats, kind of squatting, bringing your butt down to the floor and back up. You can do single leg squats. It's going to give you a little bit more specific training on that leg that you're standing on, which is really important if you're doing a lot of dynamic activity. If you're doing a lot of running and cutting, those are the muscles that you need. You need to be able to get into that single leg stance position, or basically standing on that leg and having a lot of control as you're controlling your force against gravity and changing direction and moving around. And again, also, you really want to work on strengthening the muscles of the hip, making sure that you're working on the rotational component of the hip. You can do a couple of clamshells for that, if you're looking for very specific exercises, and also some band exercises to work on the muscles that bring your leg away from you in terms of your abductor exercises. So that's how you strengthen the knee. The why is very important, guys, in terms of understanding why you need to strengthen your knee. How can you actually strengthen it? Hi, Dawn. How are you? How you can strengthen it, and the type of muscle contractions that you need in order to get the optimal strengthening out of your knee that will support your knee. You need the muscles of again, to review, you need the muscles of your quad and also your hamstrings to be really super strong. You can best strengthen those with eccentric and concentric exercises. Eccentric is my preference, but also you do want to make sure that you're strengthening the hip muscles in terms of engaging the abductors and also the rotator muscles of the hip. Okay, so I hope that was really helpful for you guys. We are rounding out the second week of me doing this. I'm going to head into the third week, and we're probably going to be talking about the hips. So we're going to work our way all the way up the body in terms of questions and Q&A with Dr. D. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you do have questions, drop a comment in my DMs. If there's something specific that you'd like me to go over, I'm happy to do that also. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm just going to check to see if we have anything going on. Facebook is quiet and IG is quiet. Maybe I need to do this a little bit early in the day. All right, you guys let me know. All right, so have a wonderful weekend, guys, and I will see you guys back here on Monday, and we're going to be diving into the hip. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.